At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance. We are the future of crypto.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vibra Live. Man, how quickly things can change in one day. Yesterday, it was Sunday. Everything was red. I was like, it was a good time to not focus on crypto. Why torture yourself when things are bad? Just focus your energy on positive things. Get away. It's healthy. And what do you know? 24 hours later, today I was doing some stuff this afternoon. And I start getting messages, Moon B Roots is on Crypto Banter. So I was like, what? And sure enough, shout out Moon B Roots. He was awesome on Crypto Banter. Rand was loving everything he had to say. And it was nice that he wasn't like brushing him off and let him speak, didn't cut him off. And that's what we need. New eyes and just continue to keep crushing, guys. And there's going to be the bitching and complaining and the dumb shit that happens here. But you know what? It is what it is. That can just, you can either focus on that or move past it and highlight other things. I think people are going to start coming together. And this is a start right here. HEX on Pulsechain now up to, oh, wow. I wish, imagine that, $1.28. Almost a cent. So, we're up 11% now in the day. It feels good. That's 11 reasons why people will stop bitching right there. So you got to love that. And then our other babies here, Pulsechain, PulseX, and the INC token making big moves back to 50 cents. Got out of INC. I don't know why. I mean, I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid, but when the yields were high, it was worth the PulseX pair. But yeah, ganking that out when it was around 250-ish. That was the move. I'm glad I did. I don't have enough bags to be profitable at a 50-cent INC token. But shout out to anyone that is. Yeah, Moon B Roots here, guys. He was on the show earlier, and his number one pick was Teddy. Out of anywhere he could go, Teddy was his go-to, and then Doge won, and then some other one on ICP. Thomas Anderson was talking about ICP, and he was the one going against the grain there. He was bullish as hell on it. And I told him at first, weeks ago, I like the technology, but I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome the stigma from last cycle. And man, was I wrong. People's memories are shot. People don't care. I don't know what it is. People will pretend. People in denial. I don't know what it is, but we've been through that stage here. We're at rock bottom, with Pulsechain and PulseX and the hexes. And look at this, Teddy Bear on the hourly now. Bam. One of the biggest volume candles in a while, in a month almost. Well, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And that's what one stream can do in front of the right people. And we're going to continue to push on. We might not even need Richard. Something could go viral where Pulsechain is all that's talked about. ETH gas fees go through the roof next week. I feel like a lot of people will start looking at Pulsechain. So Teddy had a God pump up 104%. So I'm glad that I got my bags packed. My Tropa, my P-Dye, Teddy. I put 2 out of the 3 in liquidity pairs with like TGC and some Alien. I was just messing around months ago, and I'm just leaving them there. And now TGC looks like it's starting to break too, which is good to see. This coin is definitely going to the firmament, the first DAO on the Pulsechain. And what do you know? Well, how much have we burned? There's these reflection coins, people were talking shit on them, but look at that. We just crossed over 24 billion burned coins. This thing's been up for, I think, 55 days, something like that. 2 months at, 60 days. Or no, sorry, 80 days, I believe. And we burned 24 billion coins. Think about 3 months from now, 6 months from now, where are we going to be? $2.3 million market cap, just under 2,000 holders. So this coin is doing exactly what it was supposed to do. It's buying and burning TGC every day, paying you back. Pulsechain paying you back. TGC. I mean, guys, how can you not love this coin? Right here. I mean, the Pulsechain is going to the DAO and not paying you back. It's going to the DAO, and then that's buying and burning more TGC. And now with the game out, this thing is distributing lots of money. It wasn't as big the second round, but it's still 55 million TGC for the raffle. And I like it being smaller, honestly. It's a better odds of winning. When there's 50,000 people in there, the odds not so good, but lower like this, I'm loving it. Hey guys, too, Karate Combat. I know Vets was in this, and this shit is awesome, guys. Yeah, let's go. JJB Roots killing it, man. We need shit like that. We need to get in front of new people, get on the big platforms. It's only a matter of time. We have the community, we have the foundation. It's only a matter of time. There we go. Caparanga. The free. I saw you got a second place the other day. It's coming. I feel it. You're going to take that first place real soon. There we go, Vets. Let's go. Nope, Randy's meme token dropped. I saw that. I saw he posted some stuff about that. Teddy broke out. Let's go. Every day I'm hustling. Yeah, there he is. What up, Thomas? Yeah, buy that FUD for ICP, bro. 100%. I missed. I regret it now. I don't know if it's worth getting in this meme coin right here. IC. Whatever. I don't even know what it is. Great to mention IC. Yeah, so I $1.2 million market cap. Well, that was earlier, actually. That was before Moonbee Roots shielded. So yeah, maybe it's at a couple $1 million. An airdrop in ICP. Wow, there we go. Potential airdrop. So that's the thing now, guys. Airdrops could be a potential selling point this cycle, where if you don't have airdrops on your chain, you're gonna suck. And that's gonna be hilarious if that ends up being the way it is. Short memories, look at soul. Exactly, bro. Perhaps Pulsechain needs to take a play from them as a community supporting project. Yup, exactly, bro. That foam, bro, I remember saying when it came out, this thing looks pretty cool. It might be fun to play around with, but I wasn't going to spend I think it was $1,000 when it first came out. It was the middle of the bear market. And yeah, for a little toy, nah, it wasn't worth it. But I was looking at it and I thought it was cool. And now, sure enough, that thing is selling for thousands of dollars because of the bonk airdrop. Who would have thought? Clintrons, what's going on? Good to see you. Oh, did you? Got it first? There we go. I didn't look today at all. I haven't been down there in a while. I love it. This may be the cross-chain cycle. Bro, that's worth, yeah, it's all going there. That was the future. I've been saying it for a while. Interoperability is the future. When all the chains talk to each other, all of the chains are operating, doing their thing, it's not going to really matter. You're just going to want to find a chain that's quick and has cheap fees, as long as it talks to everywhere else. Like what Ivan's building with Morales, the API for any chain, each chain, an NFT on Pulsechain can talk to any single blockchain. So this stuff is being built, and it's only a matter of time, and it's exciting. And like all of these altcoins, not all, but a majority of them that we identified in the bear market that nobody was talking about, no one cared about, they're now starting to be some of the front runners in this market. And just how big this karate combat is getting. From the first event that we found out about, where was it? This one right here, Agayev Quayhagen. So in June. And like I remember watching that and kind of feeling bad for the fighters, because there was like 600,000 karate tokens. If you go back and was last one, and at that point, it was worth like, I want to say $600 maybe, or half of that. No, it was at 0.0005. So it was worth $400 total. And then like they each split a portion of it. So it was like a couple $100 in coins. And now this last one right here, I mean, there was 12 million coins bet on this last fight with Benson Henderson and Anthony Pettis right here. Over 12 million. So it's getting way bigger and the coins are worth a lot more. So I won like 36,000 or something like that on all the fights. And it was awesome, guys. George St. Pierre was announcing. Nate Diaz was there. They just dropped over like, yo, Nate, what's up? And he just starts, giving an interview. And he's like, yeah, I could maybe fight here. Who knows? He didn't say no. Aljo was sitting back there. Sugar Sean was there for a little bit. So they had like big time MMA fighters there. And there's every single fight, they're stepping up the caliber of people that are fighting. They're better fights, and they're more UFC guys coming over. And it's awesome, guys. And this is just a project on H-Bar, DeFi on H-Bar that's going to blow up. This is going to be so big in another year. I can already tell. It went from nobody watching to Nate Diaz, Aljo, the former champ, and Sugar Sean, the current champ, all in attendance. Man, let's go. And this one guy too, Alvi, he was a former UFC fighter. So the 3 out of the 4 guys in the last 2 fights were former UFC fighters. And I don't think there was one UFC fighter on the card in June. So they're stepping this shit up, and it's gonna keep pumping. The coin's worth 4 times what it was back then. And just checking out some of these altcoins here in the DGen portfolio. Creo, #1 performer in the last 24 hours. This thing is nuts. This thing is so volatile. Holy shit. It was at like 0.8 of a cent 2 days ago. So I'm going to start paying attention, maybe start swing trading this thing, because that's such a small market cap. Man, and it's on Binance too, so the fees are nothing. But Clearpool too. Goo God. That shit's pumping. Almost to 10 cents now, bro. We're almost, I got it at like 5 cents-ish, I think. I don't even remember. 4 or 5. And Metis too. This is up almost 3x now. Got it at $10. And it's been pumping. Miria and Polytrade. Guys, these are some gems here. They're still early. Scale, Propi made that massive move last week on the Coinbase news out of the blue. So we're on to the right coins. We're seeing them pump, and then news follow. So we are on to the tokenization of asset shit, and then we see Coinbase announcing stuff with it, with partnerships. Crushing it. So guys, this right here, I don't know if this is why we saw green candles today or not, but I think this is a damn good reason. Crypto leaders build a colossal $78 million war chest for 2024. Guys, it's so big they had to blur it out. Like, there's so much gold in there. Some of it says Donald Jamarcus Trump. Some says Joe Biden on it. Some says Rudy. One over here says Nancy Pelosi, from Nancy Pelosi. And there you go. Crypto leaders have poured $78 million into super PACs. Now that SBF's mom is out of the scene, aimed at bolstering and growing the ranks of crypto-friendly lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Why it matters. The immense figure, $78 million raised in just 3 months, with nearly a year to go before Election Day, puts crypto on track to rival a far more established industries in terms of political giving. Guys, American Jobs, or crypto-focused super PAC Fair Shake, along with Protect Progress and Defend American Jobs, are the three that are fighting for us. Anderson Horowitz, Coinbase, and the Winklevi, huge investors in this. So FBF out of the way, and here you go. The bribes are coming from a new wave of donators. The sum represents a collective effort to detoxify crypto's image in the campaign fund world after the fall of FTX and prolific political donor Sam Bankman-Fried. I mean, why not call? I mean, that why call him Sam Bankman-Fried? Yeah, it's his name, right? These donations will go to congressional candidates in both parties who are pro-innovative, pro-responsible regulation, pro-crypto, pro-blockchain, pro-everything, pro-making money, pro-DeFi, pro-Richard Hart. It's not anti-regulation. It's pro-responsible regulation to foster industry in the United States. Isn't that funny, guys, how they just wait to the election year to hammer it all in? They play stupid. It's a puppet show. All these grown adults screaming and yelling at each other in a stupid ass looking room. Like, what are we watching? Like, this is really reality? All these 80-year-olds here reading off scripts. I think there's more risk of one of them dropping dead of a heart attack or a stroke than them actually doing something productive. So I don't know when it's going to change, if this Vivek guy's got a chance, or if it's going to just be Trump and Biden. Like, it's so bad. I can't even pay attention to it. It's such a joke. You see the innovation. You see how stupid it is. The traditional system, the amount of just leeching that goes on across all these sectors, the amount of fraud, the amount of fines Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan pay. And then he's got the balls to sit up there and say, if I were the government, I'd ban it all. It's like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. You're the problem. What's wrong with this country? You talk out of one side of your mouth and do the polar opposite. Bitcoin's for criminals. But I guess we're criminals because we're buying the shit out of it over in Europe and back in the day. So it's like, these are the people that that we're supposed to look up to, that are on TV, and they're the biggest scumbags in the world. And now we're like, this is bullish that how much we could do with $78 million. Instead, it's going to go to pockets of these scumbags. It's just disgusting, but I guess this is what you have to do. If you look at the oil and gas lobby or the banking lobby, I mean, they're spending, I don't know, in the order of $100 million a year, says Brian Baldy Armstrong, a leading backer of the PAC. Money moves the needle, he said, for better or worse. That's how our system works. Fucking scumbags. And what do you know? As we're being told, crypto bad. And people are actually worried this shit's not going to come back. People are worried that Richard Hart might go to jail. People are worried HEX is going to collapse. I thought for sure people were over that and like it was just FUD by now. And it's not. Like, people are still concerned about it. Meanwhile, Galaxy Digital has tripled their assets under management in the last year. And how did they do that, guys? How do you think? What do you think they did? You think they just went on a shopping spree and just spent $4 billion? No, why would they do that when it's all about who you know? If Mike Novogratz has a great relationship with who? The FTX debtors at the estate, then you don't need to do shit. You just get stuff handed to you. So the increase was mostly attributed to Galaxy being chosen in August by the administrators of the bankruptcy estate to manage certain holdings of the failed crypto exchange. Now, the firm's interested in acquiring assets of other bankrupt companies. Well, shit. You just gave us all these assets a year ago. We didn't do anything. And man, our Solana's up 10x. Jesus, this is just like stealing money from the working class. It's that easy. So They worked real hard, while there's people out here busting their ass, trying to do the right thing, getting shut down, having to deal with Gary Gensler, library. They deal with all that shit, and these guys are just getting shit handed to them on a fucking gold platter. It's such bullshit, guys. It really is. Like, I wish I could go up there, and just call these guys out right to I wouldn't suck any. I would tell, yeah, oh yeah, I'll ask them now. Oh yeah, that's the question. Okay, yeah, I got that. And I would just ask them right to their face and call them out just to see the look on their face and the shock when they get caught in the lies and they just start to panic and stutter and mumble shit. It's like Jerome Powell's got such a good poker face, but he's got cracks. When that person stormed in and he got caught, say, shut the fucking door. That the real Jay Powell, he stood up right there. You got to see he ain't no happy little camper. He's a miserable old fuck. They all are. And I hope we can do better. Like, once we're rich and once we have the ETF out next year and all these tradfi douchebags like this cuckle right here come in and start telling us that, oh, yeah, we know how to run this space. We know how to make money in this space. Okay, we'll see how that goes. And they're all going to get destroyed. So I hope we can profit off that, get out, and whatever happens, we can build our own shit, our own supply chains, our own farms, our own food, employ each other, and not rely on this shit. Like, it's going downhill so fast, guys. Like, it really is. I don't know what's up with the Fed, but there's some shit going on right now because they just Jerome, I think he must have bowel movements or something because they don't just shift like this. Last time this happened in 2019 when we just got 3 rate hikes in July. It was like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Everyone thought the economy was great. And then sure, the shadow banking system collapses within 6 months. And then we have the scamdemic and then the money printing. So every time in history, they've transitioned or reversed course, it's gotten really bad for 3 to 4 months. And if now they're showing signs of already having to hike or to reverse course in March, so probably by February, I don't know. It's got to get bad. I don't know if it's going to be a flash crash, but this might be here, guys. Like, if Bitcoin pops through 44 here and we run up a little bit, like, we have to break through this number here. If we don't break 44.5, this is just the last of it, in my opinion. I'm going to be looking to sell some of these all like Polytrade and Creo, everything that's pretty much not on ETH. I'm going to probably scale out 75% because I think we're going to start crashing. I just don't see how we don't repeat the end of 2019 with all that debacle. Like, I was watching an interview with these guys talking about the repo markets, and there was a couple $1 trillion in those markets in August or September, and now it's about under 1 trillion. So money is fleeing them because the bond yields are inverted. So I don't know if the Fed sees this money is pouring out again of the repo markets and they need to do something. And the only chance they had was this last year by just jacking rates up. It gives them some wiggle room with the inevitable. I mean, this economy can only run at 0% interest rates. And that's why they want these CBDCs so bad. Because with cash, if it's okay, if it costs you $3,000 out of every $100,000 you have per year to keep it in a bank account, you just pull your cash out and just hold it versus pay somebody. Well, in the digital system, you're not going to be able to just pull it out. You're going to be stuck using that. You're going to be told where that money can be spent. And that's the problem. It's a real catch-22 that a lot of these people are not understanding that when this system comes, I mean, they have no choice. Like, this is why, and this is when rates will be at 0. I don't see the economy functioning at any more than the rates have to be pretty much 0. I mean, it's just gotten so out of control. And I think that's why the big push is when, inflation it's been in a deflation the last couple of years has been the real problem. Everything is inverted. Oh, inflation. It's actually been deflation. There's the same amount of dollars chasing less supplies. And then with the scamdemic, yeah, they printed more money, more is coming. So we will run into inflation inevitably, but they've been battling deflation. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I think it's just a mass consolidation. The banking system is so fragile. They could just pull the pin right now and the whole thing could just pop. But it's going to be a controlled demolition. And out of the other side rises the phoenix. And out of the ashes rises the phoenix. And all the timelines 50 years after the dollar or the gold, petrodollar in 1973. And now, 50 years later, the petrodollar is gone. So nothing's backing the dollar right now. It's worthless. How long can that sustain? All the central banks are loading up on gold. Why? Why would they be doing that? What do they know? But guys, this right here, Coinbase, was the last piece of news for the night. They've expanded in Singapore by introducing the USD. Retail customers can now transfer USD from their accounts using the SWIFT network. This feature is set to enhance access between fiat and crypto. And we know Ripple is working with SWIFT. The guy that created the SWIFT network and worked there for 30 years now works for Ripple or worked there. I don't know if he still does, but he did work there for a while. Customers can now easily access USDC, redeemable 1-to-1 to the dollar. The exchange said in the release that it recognizes Singapore as a crucial hub for international expansion. The largest U.S. exchange obtained a major payment institution license in October of this year. In the meantime, the Singaporean central bank has been actively developing a crypto framework aimed at curbing speculation and reducing risk for retail investors. Despite setbacks, Singapore continues to maintain a strong position alongside key players like Hong Kong and the UAE, while Brian Baldy Armstrong's country falls behind. So Coinbase International Exchange, there we go. So Coinbase is taking over the world, guys. They're a chosen one. I just want to show you something. So all of these companies right here are going to be going public in the next couple of years. This is the list on iTrust Capital right now. All right. And they're not all crypto companies or fintechs, but a lot of them are. Ripple, Chainalysis, Uphold, Glint, Circle, Discord, state-of-the-art AI capabilities, Samba Nova, Impossible Foods, SnapLogic, Link2, iTrust Capital, Tanium, Big ID, Copper.co, Ledger, Epic Games, ASAP, Alchemy, Dune, Dapper Labs, Acorn, CityBlock, Unstoppable Domains. You see where this is going? Block Demon, Alloy in the fintech, BitPay, Figment, PolySign. You see how many companies are going to be coming out in 2024? The amount of money that's going to flood into this industry as everybody's saying right now, bonds look so attractive. Bonds look so attractive next year. Well, when everyone's saying something, usually it's the opposite. So I think the bond market's fucked. And I think that it's just a front. And they're starting to show their hands in desperation that they need this ETF to come out. The ETF is going to save all of these hedge funds and these institutions, in my opinion. So that's why it's going to be really interesting. Is crypto going to be able to withstand a big stock market correction? Or can they just keep this pumping and these fantasy economics keep going? And the liquidity problem or whatever's going on behind the scenes stays covered up until it just pops again real hard. And this whole soft landing is just a bunch of bullshit. I don't know. But you know what? There's nothing we can do except pack our bags, buy the best coins that at the lowest prices that have the most upside, and just try to hold through all the FUD. I mean, if you made it through right now and you're still holding and you made it through this entire bear market without selling out of your bags, this is the easy part now. You just pick a time. All right, when is this going to? Every bull market has ended in alt season a year after the halving. So April 2025, I'm going to be looked to be out of 90% of my altcoins and just give it time. The people that I know that did the best last cycle, we all planned to take everything out in October 2021, September to October, regardless of what happened, regardless where the price was, we were going to pull everything out. And when it came along, we all got back together and I was drinking the Kool-Aid, lengthening cycles. This time's different. No, it's a double top. No, we got scammed. No, it was manipulation. It's going up this time. Who knows what it's going to be next time? But I know I'm setting my sights on a time frame, whether April or June or the latest September 2025. I'm going to be out of the market by October 2025, at least 85%. I'm not making the same mistake again. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. And until these cycles show us differently, or there's signs that utility cryptos are going to be holding their value, or there's no way, Stellar is going to dip when there's $60 billion of tokenized tokenized mutual funds or tokenized deposits on the blockchain. Is that going to give it value? Will that be what drives price for these? I don't know. But at some point, when this real world utilities here and these coins are being used every day by businesses all over the world, that's going to be the value. So I don't see a bear market really affecting those coins. Is that going to be when everything, the 99% of coins disappear when regulation comes next cycle? Is it going to be coins disappear because no utility? I don't know. I think it's going to be the first. I think legislation is going to be the reason a lot of them don't exist. I'm already starting to see in New York the vetting process and the listing process these exchanges have to go through to list a new coin. I mean, it's insane. Like, if you were a new project, I don't think you would want to even bother doing it. You have to be well established. And I think that's the whole point, to take out all the risk for the main exchanges. But I think that's where DeFi is going to thrive. If they really try to squeeze off DeFi, you're going to just make it more popular. Like everything else, if you try to make it illegal, people flock to it. So I think they're just going to let DeFi do its thing, and you're going to just have to pay tax on it when you convert to the real world or you buy things. And I think as time goes on, the systems are just going to be there where you just have to pay your taxes. It is what it is. The more you make, the more tax you pay. But would you rather be broke or be paying taxes? So that's a question you got to ask yourself when it comes. Because I think not paying taxes and getting dragged through the mud of getting audited and all that, I mean, it's a nightmare. And I don't even want to risk it. So whatever I cash out into the real world, pay my taxes on. And whatever is sitting in ledgers that I haven't spent or whatever until I move it out or until the law requires, you hold on to it. And those are paper gains. And that's what it looks like Europe is doing. And I can't imagine with Anderson Horowitz, A16 exchanges that are meeting with regulators over there. I can't imagine that they don't want institutional DeFi and DeFi for all these people to be successful. In order for that, we all need to be on the same page, all using the same stuff. That's the only way it's really going to thrive. And I think that's why Flare, stuff like that, people don't even know what it is. They're sleeping on it now. And everybody that I work with, I'm having them buy the shit out of Flare right now. I think it's going to be more valuable than Chainlink in the future. Chainlink is great. It talks to all the oracles, but what about the oracle that brings value to Bitcoin, Litecoin, or brings DeFi and smart contracts and value to Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and all these ghost chains? When you can bridge Bitcoin and Litecoin onto Flare as a F asset and pair it up with XRP or pair it up with Pulsechain in these liquidity pools that are open source That's the future. That's where hedge funds are going to go be putting millions of dollars into those liquidity pools on the XRPL and on Flare. Maybe it might be on XLM. I don't know. But that's what I see. And with the Flare drops coming, if you delegate your bag right now, you qualify for 2 more years of free airdrops. So just think about that. 2 years of free airdrops, or listening to people out there buying Chainlink at $15 after it was $5 for like 6 months. I was putting market buys in every time it dropped under $6, all bear market. And now I can buy Flare down 90% and no one knows about it. So, guys, I do all the research here all day, every day. And to me, it's so fucking obvious what coins are going to be the winners. Like, it's so obvious. And yeah, obviously I'm pissed. I got out of Injective. I got out of Osmosis and some of the other Cosmos stuff, but because I had Corium. And now Corium is pumping like crazy. That was kind of my hedge against getting out of those. And Corium was on Banter 2 days ago. And sure enough, in the last week, it's up almost 2.5x. And this coin was an airdrop for free for XRP holders. So when you look at the chart and you say, oh my God, this thing just went down only. This thing sucks. Yeah, well, it was a free airdrop in the bear market. So when people are desperate and they get free money, what do? They sell it. And people like me buy it. And then when the bull market comes, we win twice as hard. And then we're lucky. Oh, you're the lucky one. Da, 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 da. People are so short-sighted, and in investing, they go against their grain. Anywhere else in this world, you go to a store, something's 50% off, you're like, yes, and you go buy more. But with crypto, with stocks, you see 50% off, and you're like, oh, God, something's wrong. It's on sale. That can't be right. Like, we're wired backwards for this shit. So, Corium right here, like, while these assholes are shilling Injective and Render and Solana at $75, I'm telling you to buy Corium. I'm telling you to go look still at Algorand, at Stellar, at HBAR, DeFi on these platforms, because nobody's over there. I've been streaming about Corium for a year and a half while it's just going straight down, looking like a retard. But sure enough, the last week, it gets on Crypto Banter because some altcoin guy tells Ran about it. Doesn't even know if the coin's a lot, what it is. Meanwhile, Lindsay's doing interviews with Chris from Corium on our channel. We had tickets to the launch party. We gave Fashion Coder and Black Hexagon. And you could talk to them and see how much. They even said it was way over the top, the amount of money they spent. Well, they must have it. Apparently, something's going right over there. Because Sologenics, too, they just put out an announcement today. I saw Zen put it up that they're working with Ripple for CBDCs and tokenization. So all these things are starting to come together. And while Rand and the mainstream are a year and a half behind, literally, I mean, today, Ivan was on with the Eurotrash group. I just call them the Eurotrash. And they're all on there, Ivan, and we have a coin, and it is going to be good. And they were talking about supply chain problems, and that V-chain was the solution. And I'm just like, oh, my God. These guys have no clue there must be NDAs out on like the blue chip coins that are going to be around in the future, the ones that thrive, that these assholes aren't allowed to talk about them. Like, I swear that's what's going on, because Hedera literally is built for that shit. They tested out Atma.io this year and showed you in a bag of coffee, you scan it and you could see where the coffee was grown, where it was manufactured, where the bag came from, where it was shipped, everything by scanning one thing. And that's what these assholes were telling us V-chain was going to be used for. It's like, man, it is what it is. It feels good to be ahead and to start to see how stupid these guys are. And that when you actually do 50, 60 hours of research a week and you are obsessed with it, you start to ask yourself, am I just crazy? Am I just going down all these rabbit holes? Am I just being tricked? What is going on here? Or am I just seeing something that no one else sees? And I think that's what it is. With people's attention spans with Solana and now with ICP, how fast people just jump onto them and everything's all good. You don't hear a thing about how many times Solana shut down and how many times it froze. You don't hear a thing about it anymore. Bonk, 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 the phone. So I swear, people like from the jabs and phones It's like the Men in Black device where you zap it and people's memories are just gone. I think that's what happens every like 3 years with this new generation. Their memory just disappears and just, I don't know what happens, but we're going to be here crushing it, guys. I hope you guys start seeing through all the FUD, start seeing through the bullshit, and start seeing that the shit that's going to be used is not being talked about. It's all a distraction, and the stuff that's going to take the Amazons of the world. How come it was pets.com and all the bullshit? How come Amazon and Dell and Google weren't shilled right at the beginning of the web.com era? How did they just rise all of a sudden out of nowhere? How did fucking Mike Novogratz just get all of FTX's assets handed over to him? How's Brian Armstrong touring the world, opening up exchanges, just doing whatever the hell he wants? You got to think how that happens. And it's all because of who you know. And when you can look around and start realizing that companies work with each other, people in those companies have relationships, people they used to work with, and that's how you decide who you're going to pick and choose. It's relationships you have. And that's a huge thing, is knowing who has relationships in the real world and just talking to people and just spending that extra time. And to me, it's obvious, and we're going to crush it so hard this cycle. And you got to ask yourself, am I going to sit here and listen to the mainstream, or somebody that actually sits here and spends literally all day looking at this shit and trying to figure out what is going to be the future? Is it going to be gaming? Is it going to be interoperability? Is it going to be AI? Is it going to be NFT 2.0s, tokenization of assets, tokenized stocks, AI girlfriends? Who knows? But you got to be ready for anything. And that's what we're going to be, is ready, and we're going to fucking crush it this cycle. And I hope you guys do too. So smash that like button, unsubscribe. I don't give a shit. Do what you got to do. We'll see you tomorrow night, guys. Peace.